French translations, I understand. You want to do us a favor, Marc-Mihai, and just tilt that card a little bit forward for us so the folks out there can see it? Not that most of us know what it says, but you are Marc-Mihai's mother, right?
Yes, and he's going to do a sentence, he just said a sentence-building game in French. You take a small sentence, this is the dog runs, and then you expand the sentence, and it's to develop visual vocabulary. It's good, and he's going to do this in French.
I can't understand what you just said, little. What are you going to do?
He's going to expand the sentence. He's going to take a very simple sentence, the dog runs, and he's going to expand it, and the idea is to help the child have more visual vocabulary.
Okay.
Marcou, tu vas... La phrase... Alors, tu mets d'abord la couleur. Quelle couleur tu veux? Orange, vert, rouge?
Noir.
OK. Tu peux écrire plus petit, hein. Et de quelle taille il est? Il est grand, il est petit? Mais non, mon chéri, tu vas mettre... Quand est-ce qu'il fait le truc? Est-ce qu'il le fait en hiver? Je sais pas... Quand? Commence à gauche, mon lapin. Sinon, tu n'auras pas assez de place. À gauche. Viens à gauche.
I ask you, did you know French before this?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and was this a language that you decided you wanted Marc-Mihai to learn?
Well, both my husband and I are bilingual, so yes, he's been spoken in French too.
Marc-Mihai also knows Japanese and some Spanish.
Et où, Marcou?
Some Italian.
Dans la forêt? No.
Okay, why don't we just translate what we've got?
Well, he's going to translate it for you, I think, as soon as he's finished. Okay, Marc-Mihai?
You want to translate what you've got, man? Finished or no?
Marc-Mihai, can you stop there?
Stop, darling.
Goldfish.
Okay.
It's a big mystery here. I feel like we're dealing with Balzac or something.
Quick, man.
Translate it for us, Mark.
Okay.
The dog grunts. The black 1-inch dog runs on a day of summer in the garden.
Lovely.
Oh, how nice.
1-inch dog. 1-inch dog.
Well done,
And he does the New York Times crossword puzzle in French. All right, Micah. Micah, it's your turn.
Okay, ma'am. Well, what we've got here are some questions on your nautical knowledge. Micah is building a raft, which he's going to take down the Delaware with the rest of this crew in about 8 months. And these are questions concerning the raft and rafting in general, nautical things. How about you tell me which one to circle, okay? Stay right where you are. You can read it aloud, or you can just read it to yourself and tell us what the answer to the first question is.
On the Beaufort wind scale, smoke rising vertically is called calm.
Calm, he says. Now, we'll check from the expert in the audience. That is correct. Well done. I don't know the answers.
Far higher, though, the famous navigator discovered Indians from Peru long ago sailed balsa rafts on the Amazon River, Lake Titipu, Lake Titicaca, Blue Stripe.
Which one of those three did Thor Heyerdahl, the famous navigator, discover Indians from Peru long ago sailed balsa rafts on what? Lake Titipu, Lake Titicaca? Which one? See? Okay, let me check. Is that correct? It is correct. It's Lake Titicaca. Okay. A
blue striped white buoy means you can put your raft on that buoy.
Okay, so which one? A, B, or C? Tie up your boat here, no fish. This one? Is that correct? That is correct.
In constructing a pontoon raft, the tip of a wood screw is called
scratch-offs, countersink bits, or gimlet point.
Gimlet point.
Is that correct? Excellent.
Four for four. We'll go with you on the Delaware, Mike, anytime. Very good job.
Well done, Michael. Well done. Don't run away. Don't run away to get your bike off. Okay?
Glenn, I think a lot of people have a concern that maybe you're not really, you're teaching bits of information, but then how do you integrate all of that? How do you teach the child to understand, put it in some framework, in some perspective?
It moves from bits into programs of information, which is the relationship between them.
Okay.
And their high degree of creativity, as you'll see, puts it all together.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, what I wanted to ask is if we look at the idea of learning and knowledge and the acquisition of knowledge, and we take a spectrum, and on one end we put rote learning, on the other end we put conceptual learning. Where would you consider this falls on this spectrum? Rote, conceptual, or somewhere in between?
What they're doing everything from the very beginning to the very end. As you'll see.
For the very young, early learner, would you say that intelligence has a high factor, high degree, in whether the child is learning or can?
Sure. All tiny children have a greater potential intelligence than Leonardo ever used. See, that creates intelligence. Let's take the opposite, which happens all the time, sadly. You find a kid that somebody put in a closet at birth and keeps there until he's 13. He's an idiot. Now, is he congenitally an idiot, or is he an idiot because somebody chained him in a closet? This is simply the reverse of chaining kids in closets.
All right, but I think as adults we have so much trouble, thank you very much for that question, for understanding this, because we learn, you know, somebody threw us into school at age 5 or 6 and we hoped that everything would turn out okay. Right. And adults seem to have more trouble understanding this only because they might have to unlearn their way of learning.
Adults have more trouble understanding, period.
Yes. See, on the one hand, you have that these kids are tiny and they take in information, as you and I did. We were great learners, too, when we were 2. It's just that people didn't teach us very much. We sort of sat in playpens and got annoyed.
The best example is there's no more difficult thing to do than learn a foreign tongue.
Right.
And to every one of these kids, English was a foreign tongue when they were born, French was a foreign tongue, Japanese was a foreign tongue, Spanish was a foreign tongue. They all have degrees of all of them.
All right, so it's just throwing all this raw data, and just the child is anxious to learn, and the child will learn.
Throwing's a little rough, but we present it to them in a very precise, careful way.
Vocabulary lessons,
Precisely.
word choice.
Precisely.
You okay there, Brand? Lost your ribbon here, right?
One of the problems is that adults, even in our questions about kids, they're sort of degrading. Do they really understand? Of course they do. A 6-month-old baby understands when his mother's talking to him, but we think he doesn't understand. Okay. We begin with the assumption he doesn't understand, but he does understand.
Okay. I understand that this lovely young woman next to me, Kara, right, is going to come back. And we were talking before, it's not just emotional, intellectual, it's a well-rounded child, and that includes being physically excellent. Are you physically excellent? She's going to prove it to us right after these messages.
She is physically excellent.